have you been taking care of your needs during each phase of your cycle? Or maybe you are neglecting a little bit some of your needs during the different phases of your cycle. If you are already a pro and you are very good at taking care of your needs during each phase of your cycle, I'm so glad that you are doing that amazing work. Please continue doing it so you can continue inspiring other people. In my case, um, I'm on my third month that I'm taking care of my needs during each phase of my cycle. It's very new. I'm 35 years old, and I'm very inspired to talk about this subject because I feel like the more we talk about it, the more we normalize the importance of taking care of your needs in each phase of our cycles. No matter if in what phase you are, even if you are a guy, if you're a man, if you identify yourself as a man, I'm very happy that you are here in this video because I think it's important that we women create a lot of awareness of our own needs, but having men also understanding our needs just helps so much with the overall process. So thank you so much for being here. As I shared earlier, for me, it's been about only 3 months since I've been taking care of this part of my self-care routine very seriously. I've been a self-care queen for a few years now. I take very seriously my self-care time. But yeah, only 3 months ago, I became very aware of how important and special are, especially for me, the dates I am close and I am on my period. For each woman, symptoms are going to look a little different. So I think I want to focus on this video on just creating a little awareness and inviting you to check on your relationship with this part of who we are, and invited you also to create your own way of life, how you want to live, how you want to experience those days of the month. Years ago, when I started working on myself, when I first had my spiritual awakening, when I just started creating a lot of change into my life, I started noticing that I became very aware of a lot of things. I think it's part of my process. I don't want to say that it is the same for everyone, but it was part of my process of first being very aware of a lot of things, but not knowing exactly what to do with those things. And one of the things that became very clear for me was that my period was slightly like changing a little bit. I didn't have any extreme symptoms, any extreme changes, but I noticed that it went from 28 to 35 days, and I wasn't very comfortable with that. So I started this journey of getting acupuncture every month, 10 days before my period, just because I wanted my periods to be only 28 days. I don't like to judge who I was. I feel like we're talking maybe about, I want to say 10 months ago, or maybe less. So it's not too far ago that I had this mentality, this way of approaching symptoms in my body. I want to say now I would have definitely 100% make different decisions, and I would approach it from a different perspective. But back then, I just wanted my periods to be 28 days, and that's why I was doing acupuncture. Um, and only until I was close to move to another city, I've been sharing on my other videos in case you're curious, that I made a major decision in my life this year of moving from San Francisco to Miami. And it was during that process of getting ready to the move where I realized, like, okay, I've been doing acupuncture in San Francisco. I want to continue doing acupuncture in Miami. So I started doing a little research of the new place, the new person I wanted to work with. And in that research was when everything started changing for me, because I hear from the new person in Miami talking to the way I was doing acupuncture in a way that he didn't think he was doing much, very much. For the little knowledge I have, acupuncture works best if you combine it with the herbs, the Chinese herbs. And I wasn't taking any of the Chinese herbs. I was only doing the session 10 days before the period. I'm not gonna get too deep into acupuncture because again, I'm not a practitioner. I don't know much about it. This is my personal experience, my personal story. And from that moment, he also said like, okay, 35 days is still in the it's normal. Like that's not too weird for women at your age to have, some periods um, of 35 days, right? So I was, in a moment of deciding about so many things before my move that I was like, okay, so maybe the my period is not so bad. Maybe I can just take a pause on this and let my intuition show me what I want to continue doing related to this subject. Intuition told me at that moment was that I was moving from a very cold city. San Francisco for me, for some people can be the warmest place in the world. For me, it was a very cold city. So I was moving to a very warm place where I was going to be able to spend more time swimming in the ocean. I just got out of the water, and yeah, my intuition just told me that maybe by swimming more often in the warmer weather, warmer water, that's gonna help you with your regulating your cycle. And one of the first things that happened when I first came to Miami, I noticed a big change, a big shift in my nervous system. So that's when I knew, of course, San Francisco was a very cold place for me. My body wasn't taking it, my body wasn't liking it, my body was probably very stressed out. And once I came here to the warmer weather, my body is very relaxed, and I'm probably, um, by spending time swimming, I'm just more synchronized with the environment, with my body, with the rhythm of my body. So my periods get back to be 28, 38 days. When I was experiencing the 35 days period, yes, there wasn't nothing to run about the number of dates, but my symptoms around the week or 10 days before my period were very strong. That was the one thing I could tell it was different from the past. So, yes, my period regulated when I moved to Miami, but I would say the symptoms are still a little more intense than how they used to be. So, I've been doing also a lot of personal work around this where I'm accepting because my feeling in San Francisco is that I was putting a lot of stress in my body, and that was creating my periods uh, to be a little later. And I also realized that me trying to do acupuncture and trying to fix the issue was a part of me that wasn't accepting that my body was experiencing a little change. And the biggest part that is just very clear for me now is that the 10 days or 8 days before my period are moments where I definitely feel very different. I don't want to say that that's gonna be the exact same for you. So part of what I want to do with this video is create awareness and to invite you, if you are still kind of exploring all these concepts as I am, if you're new to explore these things, to invite you to explore how it is for you, because I want to say I have heard from different girlfriends, my sister included. She feels very energized before her period, and she feels a little moody on her period. For me, I feel amazing on my period. Now my question is, if maybe you're at the same place I am, where you now are aware that there is a change, that something definitely changes for you at some moment in your cycle. So the question is Now, how are you planning? How you are designing your month now that there are some days that you do feel different? How are you taking care of your needs during those days of the month? The second question I have for you is, what's your relationship like with you feeling different during those days? In my case, as I've been sharing on other videos, it's just new for me. It's only 3 periods ago, 3 months ago, that I'm honoring how I feel. That I'm creating a lot of space for the woman I am during these days. For many years, I had negative feelings and thoughts about being on my period. Me personally and other people, I would say, like, yeah, she's probably very hormonal. She's crazy. I'm not, you know, embarrassed to say that that was me. That was the person I was not that long ago. I grew up in a society, having examples of other women and hearing in, on TV and from many different places that, yeah, women are weak, women are crazy, are there's a lot of negative things when we are on our periods or when we are going through some hormonal disorder. So it is very new, as I said, the new relationship I'm creating with my body and with the woman I want to be. So I have that question for you. If you are a man, if you are a guy, like, what's your relationship with the idea of women feeling a little different? Um, that makes you feel a little powerless, that makes you feel um, maybe a little bit more giving, caring, loving. It's going to be so different for everyone, and the whole idea is, of course, to have a beautiful relationship with all these phases we go through, with these parts of our personalities, and part of the personalities of your partner, your sister, your mom, your, the women you have in your life. So, yeah, I invite you to sit with this question and reflect a little bit about what's your relationship with women experiencing these symptoms or feeling a little different a few days of the month. And yeah, and if there are some negative ideas and feelings about it, of course, I invite you to start changing or finding your way of create new positive ways to relate to this wonderful thing that women get to experience in life. Some of the takeaways I would love you to leave with are, if you're brand new to this, hopefully you are leaving this video with a little bit of awareness of how there are some days of the month where women, we experience different things that require a special treatment. Um, some There are some days of the month that our needs might change. Two, what's your relationship with that idea of women feeling a little different, changing some days of the month? Three, how from now on you want to create those, how you want to experience those days of the month, how you want to support the women um, of your life during those days. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on my next video. Peace and love.